there are situations like what we see with Jim Harbaugh losing. Okay, the Josh Gattis move does not look good. It looks like he's choosing one program over another, and it's actually a downgrade to a certain extent, as I explained a few minutes ago. The Mike Macdonald move, though, he gets to be a defensive coordinator in the NFL. This is not similar to the situation at Auburn with Brian Harsin losing players and coaches, and it looks like no one wants to work there. Again, Derek Mason, their defensive coordinator, left. Their defensive coordinator left. Sorry about that. Derek Mason left Auburn to take what I would consider to be generally a step down or a lateral move, generally a step down to Oklahoma State. And then their offensive coordinator was only there for a couple of weeks, Austin Davis, and then he left for whatever personal reasons, or maybe he just didn't like it there. And Harsin's in trouble. Harbaugh is not in trouble. He may have to win back some trust, but he's not in trouble. Okay, he just won a Big Ten championship. And the Macdonald move is not a bad one. He's going to the NFL and a top-notch NFL franchise to be DC. The Gattis move doesn't look good, but again, don't be surprised if you come across some information at some point that lends itself outside of football to fill in the blanks for us. I don't know where this collapse is out of Michigan and people that are criticizing Michigan. I don't see a collapse. It's not the best situation. He paraded around for 5 weeks looking for NFL jobs, and he came back, and then he makes this gung-ho speech about, does it get any better than this? Does anybody have it better than us? Well, you wanted it better somewhere else, obviously. So you saw better, greener pastures out there. So what are you saying? I hate that line. Does anybody have it better than us? Well, you wanted it better. You saw it to be better somewhere else. Anyway, so it's not a great situation in Michigan. There are fences that need to be mended, relationships to be massaged, to be cultured. But it's not falling apart. I will be surprised if Jim Harbaugh does not have a top 15 recruiting class in 2023. And for as much as the optics were awful about him getting on a plane to Minneapolis, and I'm the first one to say this, and I've said it 50 times about him going to Minneapolis, National Signing Day was over for Michigan. Yes, they missed a possible commit that I just mentioned that flipped to Oklahoma. However, 22 of the 23 were done. They were in-house. They were signed as sealed. And it was the 8th best class in the country. So he has been recruiting in the 10 to 15 range, and he's going to have a top 10 to 15 class. I can almost guarantee it in 2023. So Michigan is not collapsing. They may have hit their peak, and that was the comment that I made a number of times during this Harbaugh saga, is that if it's all about football, it's not about money, it's not about location, it's not about necessarily even a challenge to a certain extent, or about his family and where they want to live and all those things. If it's simply about football and determining what's a better football situation, he had to determine. I don't know if he did, because it just seems as though he got boxed into a corner and had to come back to Michigan. But I would have been determining there are situations in the NFL that are certainly better than other situations. There are better organizations than other organizations, but you can win everywhere in the NFL. It's been proven that you can win everywhere. Everybody has been good, except to a certain extent the Detroit Lions, and to a certain extent the Cleveland Browns, even though they won a playoff game last season. You can win. Jacksonville's a dumpster fire today. They were in the NFC Championship game 4 years ago. AFC Championship game. Okay, you can win anywhere in the NFL. College football is different. And then college football, you also have expectations versus resources and opportunity to win. And in Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, I thought, needed to determine if he was wrestling between the NFL and college football. If I maxed out Michigan, what we accomplished this year, is this the best we can do? And I really don't see myself consistently surpassing Ohio State. And based on what I saw on that Orange Bowl field, where I can get our program to the place where we can compete toe-to-toe with Alabama and Georgia and whomever else is going to fit that level at some point, Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, whether I can do that